So, this has been popping up quite a bit, both in the news, but especially on YouTube. And that is the concept of we do not dream or live to work. So, just coming back from a day of work, and personally for me, I will preface in saying that my day at work wasn't bad. The workload wasn't that heavy, and although we do have some crunch time in comparison to a lot of areas in the design field, I'm pretty okay. Uh, so, still, however, I have already experienced from other workplaces and from others who work in other places. Not only that, but even in the place that I genuinely find delightful and chill to work at, there its issues. But what is up with this concept that's been popping up a lot lately about the concept of we do not dream or live to work? So, I just thought I would share a scripture for you guys, and perhaps you'll find it interesting. This one was something that always have popped up to me, and the book of Isaiah in general pops up to me, but it just comes over and over again. And I could pop up with a couple of scriptures, but this one is found in Isaiah 65, and it's verse 21 and 22, in which it says, "They will build houses and live in them, and they will plant vineyards and eat their fruitage. They will not build for someone else to live in, nor will they plant for others to eat." So, personally for me, I come from a family of, I would say, kind of hard workers all the way to like workaholics. However, just as the scripture has stated, even though we were meant to work, we were definitely not meant to toil away our lives, making huge and gigantic, multi-story, thousands of square foot plazas, mansions for someone else to live in. We were just meant to come together in little groups and projects, or to come together as a family to complete a project. And I personally think that's what's been like the biggest frustration for everyone, in that for a lot of us, we're doing these kind of jobs that, as we kind of call it, have no sense of purpose. But not only that, they are never ending type of jobs. So even if it's a job that you like, let's say this has been coming up a lot in those who do coding, it's just one after one after one after one after. And people are really trying to understand, why is it that you're making six figures, multiple six figures, and yet you just walk away from a job? And they try to ask you, do you not like your job? And you say, I like the job. I like the work I do. I just don't like the grind. And that is probably the biggest thing. We are meant to work. I'm sure quarantine has shown for a lot of people who, not including those who were stressing over what to pay and pay their bills, but for those who had their things, they just sat there and got fat, got anxious, got depressed, because they didn't have, once they finally stopped the hamster wheel, it just occurred to them, well, what is it exactly that I want out of life? Or what do I find is joyful? Or what is it why am I here? And it always baffles me to see people going after these big, what is essentially rocks, put together just to provide shelter. And not to dismiss you wanting these things, but when you want something so much to the detriment of both your health, your family, your spirituality, if you believe in that, your community, our planet, when it gets to that extent that you are losing sleep and your youth and your blood, sweat, and tears over, again, paper and rock, it is very unfulfilling. So there's two things. Though we were meant to work, we were not meant to work to the extent of exhaustion that a lot of us is going through, and that there should be periods where the work comes into a completion so you can feel that nice high that you get from a satisfied project, from a project completion, that elation that you get from a job well done, and actually having a period of rest to enjoy it. So that's really just, I guess, my voice into that whole, I do not dream for work, but personally, I kind of do. Um, all this time that I was at home, if I was not working on work, I had projects to do, and I enjoy the projects. It kept me from my boredom, and I learned new things. And that's the thing. When you feel that you're getting some kind of satisfaction, we can't help but get up and do things. Just because again, money is not just it. Just because, you know, you may not have money to put on the table. If you got some time, resources, and your belly's full and your health is good, you're going to get up and go do something. I honestly believe there's a very rare amount of people who aren't going to get up and do something. And that brings me also to the other thing, is that a lot of these videos about how they do not dream of work is a bunch of, for the most part, pretty people. And I don't show my face on video for privacy's sake, not because I think I'm not attractive. Not to say I'm that attractive. I'm average, okay? I'm average. But a lot of it is pretty people going out lounging in the beautiful beaches of some other country where, you know, their money goes a little bit farther. So I just always find that funny, because in order for them to have those beautiful beaches, or in order for them to be like YouTube influencers, they're buying these clothes that, even if the clothes says it's sustainable, it's still someone ultimately producing stuff. It's just stuff. You're just collecting stuff, you know, and in order for them to continue to make the money, for them to not be at a 9 to 5, they have to perpetually show these beautiful beachy images. Because, and again, I don't think they're coming out of a sense of a malice, because who don't like beautiful photos of beaches? But it is an unfortunate thing that these same people are selling to people, like, they're only successful because not everyone has access to a beautiful scenery such as the beach. Not everyone has that joy to just relax and not, you know, wake up to an alarm clock. And that is really where they got their money from in order to make their thing. And I'm not going to go into so much about capitalism versus socialism and all that stuff, because at the end of the day, who is behind it all? People. And those who are greedy will try to take advantage of the whole. We've all come from I take that back. We don't all come from families, unfortunately, but we've all come from some group of people that we either still cherish to this day or used to cherish, unfortunately. And it doesn't take that much. It doesn't take more than like one or two people to mess up for the rest of us. So I say keep vigilant, and it's okay to work. Don't, the mind is a terrible thing to waste. The heart is a strong muscle that needs to be worked out. And we need to constantly, come together and stick together and be a part of a community and do little projects for ourselves and build things, because that satisfaction of a job well done for something that you actually see the end goal for something that you can actually see, as they say, give you purpose or make a difference. We were meant to work. We just were not meant to waste our lives on BS.